I've been learning game dev for 3 years now, so when I saw a competition for $250, I knew I had to try it. Before I could start working on the game, I had to think of a game idea fitting the theme futuristic. An obvious answer arose: a sci-fi world. After thinking about it for longer than a minute, I realized that this wouldn't help me stand out. So after bouncing some ideas off of a friend, I thought of this: a post-apocalyptic dystopian world where you fight sentient machines and gain powers from nuclear fallout. Wait, nuclear fallout?
Mayor West, you have lymphoma.
Oh my.
I don't have anything better than radiation powers. The goal for this game, like always, was combat. I was going to impress the judges with how much work I put in this short period of time. So I asked myself what the most important thing to get done first was. After some extensive research, I found that the most important thing in a fighting game is the player's weapon. Imagine that. Since the whole world got blown up, I decided that there might be some rusted pipes lying around for the player to use. So I repurposed some old code that I had used for a sword and put it into the pipe. Obviously changes had to be made, so I used mainly the checking input part of the code. And after spending way too long on the pipe, I came out with what I think to be the most beneficial skill I learned while this competition ran. I learned how to use the spin tool in Blender. So, wasn't a big waste of time, I guess, but you know what was? Animation was the biggest waste of time. I'm not good at animating, so I worked super hard in order to impress the judges. I started by working on some basic attacks for the metal pipe because I have some experience with animating weapons. However, I couldn't think of what to do for the final combo attack, so we are left with this awkward animation for now. While creating these animations, I learned about something very important: recoil. This helps your animations look so much better. Now you might be asking, what is recoil? This is when the player is not so stiff when playing a certain animation. For example, when you slash a sword, the sword would bounce up because when you slash or strike, the force that you exert is very hard to control. And if the animation is super stiff, it doesn't really look realistic. Not that a fictional game should be realistic, but you know what I mean, right? After the combo moves were done, I worked on the player's special ability, which is a lunge attack. This is the one thing that went smoothly for me, so lucky me. Next, I created some movement animations for the first time, and I don't think I need to say anything further, just look at the first draft. It's embarrassing how long it took me to get it to this stage, and they still don't look good. Finally, I made some dash animations, but there's nothing really special about these besides how bad they were. As I was touching up on the animations, I felt like I was missing something on the special, or the lunge attack if you will, so I went back to my reference. I realized there was no oomph to the attack. It just felt like the player clicked a button and the ability played. There was no build up to it. After looking at my reference, I realized I hadn't made any fire particles. We know how I feel about particles. And after some trial and error, it came out looking like this. I quickly made an environment by making 2 mountains and texturing the ground with Roblox's material generator. Finally, I added some fog to simulate sand, lowering the player's visibility. On the final nights of the competition, I would stay up every night until 1 working on the AI. I hadn't touched machine learning in what felt like a year, so it took me a couple of days to understand what I was doing. On the final night of the competition, disaster struck. Roblox got shut down while I was fixing the AI. So I did what any good game dev would do. I went to bed. Then I woke up at 2 and worked until 4. I thought it'll all be worth it because they won't extend the deadline, right? I don't think I can do that. I hope to continue to work on this game. While recording, I thought of a better game idea in my opinion. The world will be taken over by robots, but a glitch in your player's code forces you to go rogue, and you go on a rampage taking out your fellow comrades. If you guys like this game idea and want me to continue it further, let me know in the comments, and tell me if you have any game suggestions. As of right now, the competition hasn't been judged, so I don't know what place I currently hold, but I hope it's first. Anyways, have a good rest of your day. Peace.
Wait, this guy is a cop?